There's just 3 days left until my cycle across the world runs out of road. I'm racing from England to the summit of Mount Everest, swimming, cycling, running, hiking and climbing halfway across the planet to the top of the world. I'm in Oman, deep in the mountains, just 400 kilometers from the easternmost tip of the Middle East. When I get there, I have no idea what will happen next. Somehow, I need to get from Oman to Pakistan by boat, but after weeks of work, I still have no idea how to do it and no time to figure it out.
I think he's totally in denial.
Once I reach the end, I have just 1 week before my visa expires. This is the most uncertain the expedition has ever looked.
Unfortunately, it's too difficult.
I'll have to cross an entire mountain range just to reach the end of the road. And from there, well, we'll just have to wait and see.
I'm basically saying it's not possible.
So this is what we're going to do.
Really looking forward now, pushing to the coast. It'll only take about an hour to get to the coast and then follow it all the way down to Muscat, and then continue to follow it down to the most easterly point of the entire Arabian Peninsula. Buzzing.
How you doing, boys?
All the better for seeing you standing.
Go on, you my love.
Something so wrong about this AeroPress. Just like the way it's like brown liquid. It's a bit cowy. Like cow going to the toilet. Sorry.
I'm glad we brought you to lift the tone of these videos.
It'll be delicious.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Do you enjoy camping here?
I loved it. I woke up like twice because of things crawling on my face, but apart from that, it was great. Man and camel. Ready to rock? Ready to rock. Let's go. Let's get to the coast and then go to Muscat.
You seem pretty energised today.
Yeah, it's because look where we are. Nature just gives you energy.
I sailed back out into the mountains, aware of the impending nightmare just 72 hours away. But I couldn't help feeling optimistic. Spending the night in the wildest landscape I'd ever seen had recharged me and filled me with hope. Hope I was going to need if we were going to make it to Pakistan.
Absolutely beautiful place, I'm feeling great. Mountain, the changing landscape just gives me a boost of energy.
This may have been the most dire situation we'd ever been in, but that didn't stop the boys heading off on a cheeky side quest.
Why are we walking off into the mountains, Ben?
We've heard that there's some sort of shrine or religious place, and there's the prospect of seeing a few goats.
I love goats.
Which is pretty cool. I rate goats.
Goats are great, man.
Mate, I really rate them.
Don't give a fuck. I'm just going to stay alive.
And I'm going to eat everything.
Yeah.
Rocks, sticks, the whole shebang. But this is quite cool. It's a place where people go and spend a bit of time, place of like solace and sanctuary for people. And even if you don't believe in that sort of thing, it's always good vibes.
It's just a whole ass beehive. What's that doing here?
The place just gets stranger and stranger, doesn't it?
It really does. The bees have clearly had an uprising.
Did you know it takes a bee an entire lifetime to produce a teaspoon of honey? I mean, we could all be a bit more mindful when we eat honey. To be like, fuck, this is a bee's life's work. Actually, that bee is just like grafted. Think about how much a bee grafts. So next time you're eating honey, folks, just remember and be grateful to the bees. Okay? Good.
We found the shrine, according to Google Maps.
Yeah.
When we say we've heard there's a shrine here, it just says it on Google Maps, so we believed it.
And do you know what? There's something very, very spiritual about this place.
Leaving their holy cargo pallet behind, the boys set off to meet me as I made my way to the city of Sohar.
It's the perfect spot. Perfect.
How you doing?
Fantastic. How are you doing?
Good.
Hot. Can't complain. Waiting on a milkshake, sat in the shade. Oh, it's fantastic. There you go. It's incredible timing. Thank you very much. He knew he was on camera.
Honestly, it's so impossible.
I was going to get a juice and I realised there's a lot more calories in that.
Like, we were pulling up to you because you looked really f***ing miserable. And we were like, oh, we're going to get some juicy content and be miserable. And you're like, it's amazing, I've got a milkshake. Mate, I love it, I love it.
Don't get me wrong, mate, I'm f***ed, but like, little thing like finding a Lotus milkshake is enough to make anyone happy. Body's f***ed, yeah, a little bit, but as long as your brain, that's the whole point, as long as your mindset and your head is like energised, then you know your body will just follow, won't it?
How are you feeling about the boat, Mitch?
Oh, that's a headache.
It's pretty
I'm always optimistic.
It is definitely very high stakes.
See, I feel like Stan and I are kind of split. I bet there's going to happen. Stan's maybe a bit more pessimistic whether we can.
I'm normally optimistic, but I'm 50-50 at this point.
I'm normally optimistic, but this situation is like.
Only because we've been asking for months.
There was a guy who tried to do this from Dubai, and he spent like 2 months on it. It got into the press, and he had to give up.
Really?
Really.
By the looks of it, it looks like we've got about 2 or 3 days to sort this.
Because if we're
It's fucking.
You need to get to Everest, mate.
How people see this mission kind of affects whether it gets done at all. Like, we still have over £100,000 to raise to get to the top of Everest, and that's not charity money. That's just like expedition costs. It's a weird thing that like it just does really matter. So yeah, if we can get it, if we can do it, then it will be such a huge victory.
Yeah, I really need to get on that boat. I was determined to find a way to cross this ocean. It was all I could think about. We had our work cut out to get this done. With little time left on our visas and no leads at all to follow, things weren't looking good. But all we needed was to find one. There had to be a way.
All right, Mitch. You look knackered.
Oh, that's what heating 170k does to you.
170, nicely done. Not much tailwind either, eh?
Huh?
Not any headwind. 170k in a headwind. Excellent job.
I've got you gifts. 20 nuggets.
Wowzers.
Carried these for the last 50k.
Why? Bless you, mate.
Of course, there's a Big Mac in there as well.
You've been on a mission then. We're gonna go to the beach.
Each.
The beach.
Let's go get away.
It's a big day, bud.
Yeah, man. Good. Oh. Finally out of the chaos and exhausted after a long day, we settled into a sandy beach camp, surrounded by stray dogs. Stan thought it would be funny to take advantage of this fact. There's dogs everywhere, mate.
I know.
I was ready to go like this.
I know.
But Karma's a bitch.
Look what I just nearly stepped on. Like, you can see my boot print.
Woohoo!
You're beautiful, my friend.
What Stan's foot just narrowly missed is the beaked sea snake, the 10th most venomous snake on Earth and the most aggressive sea snake to humans. Anyway, good night.
You look deep in thought.
I am.
What are you thinking about?
Just thinking about the going through Muscat and how cool it's going to be. Straight after Muscat, we carve through another set of mountains. So thinking about how nice that'll be.
Based on yesterday's conversation about like the sponsorship side of stuff,
Yeah.
do you get worried at all? That worry me.
Yeah, of course, but you push it back. I just push it to the back of my mind. Not that I'm not worried or like there's no urgency, because there is, and I'm not exaggerating when I tell you, you know, even with the cycling, daily I'm emailing and, you know, every single day I'm sending messages to people. Quitting work full time 6 months before starting this without a penny. I'm less worried now because we're over halfway. We're halfway financially and in the mission now, and I've got hope. I've got faith. So.
What would it feel like to abandon this mission?
Heartbreaking, mate. Heartbreaking. Not even going to consider that because it's not going to happen. I headed back to the start point, feeling energised again, but that was swiftly ripped away by some fresh bad news.
Right, Mitch. So this is from the National Director of Customs for Oman. Sorry for the delay. According to my friend's responses, it is not possible to travel from Oman to Pakistan by boat or commercial ships.
Keep trying.
Nah,
Let's keep going.
he doesn't sound awfully certain about it.
He didn't say he was sure, did he?
No, he just said according to my friends.
Well,
Just go and find out.
doesn't change anything. We crack on. We go and find out what we can. We go and do as much as we can to get on the boat. I set off, worried but determined. We simply could not give up.
The guy who was in touch with the customs director and basically saying it's not possible to get a boat.
Really?
Mm.
Oh shit.
Yeah, we're still gonna f***ing try.
We have to try. I think it's one of those things, like our best bet at the moment is running ragged around Muscat, trying to hitchhike across.
100%.
I mean, it's not like, surely it's not impossible.
It seems so hard to believe that it's impossible. You never know.
And I think it's just, you know, as soon as we get there, it just needs to be all hands on deck. Go to the ports, fishing vessels, and just like get out there. Because it's funny with Mitch, like he's very optimistic, and I think that's you absolutely need that if you're going to go on these adventures. But I think deep down there is a part of him that's like incredibly worried about this, that he's not willing to.
I think he's totally into that.
Reconcile, yeah. Hopefully we can do it. Let's see.
I continued to push along the coast, wrapped up in thought. The chance of us pulling this off seemed to be getting less and less. But I was snapped out of my worry by our arrival in Oman's capital, Muscat. Muscat is an ancient coastal city, buried in the mountains, known for its whitewashed buildings, beautiful mosques, and vibrant culture. Its name literally means anchorage, and has been a port since the 1st century AD. It's also home to hundreds of souks, bustling indoor markets, bursting with vibrant colours, immaculately dressed Omanis, and filled with the smell of incense and spices. It's also, in a few days when we return, our ticket out of here. I stopped by the coast in the city and met back up with the boys for lunch.
Oh, it's hot. Shame it's such a horrible looking country.
I know, it's ugly, isn't it?
We'd all had the day to mull over the boat problem, and we had a plan.
Right, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to get to Muscat, we're going to push into Cerne, Stan and I, and then going to go to the port, and we're going to knock on as many doors as possible to try and get across. In the meantime, you're going to stay back and you're going to reach out to as many people as you can. We're going to leave no stone unturned. We need to work incredibly hard to try to make this happen, and it starts now.
We also, in that time, have to sort out our Indian visas.
Yes.
We need a paper visa in our passport to get across the border from Pakistan. Our e-visas aren't enough.
So we have to either get it in Oman at the embassy, or worst case scenario, we have to fly from Muscat to India to get our paper visas to come back to Muscat before continuing the journey.
And another problem is the fact that we don't have a vehicle the other side in Pakistan. And one of the most dangerous areas that Mitch is going to cycle through is in the south of Pakistan. So we don't know what this is going to look like even when we do get there.
With a plan looser than a builder's belt, I saddled up and began to leave the city.
What temperature is? It's over 30. And we're about to climb over some beautiful hills.
To get out of Muscat, I'd have to ascend the steepest and most dramatic mountain in a long time.
I've got one of the beastiest climbs I've ever seen. Climbing over the mountains, over Muscat. It was crazy. This is by far the biggest climb in thousands of kilometers. Oh my God.
It was tough work as the blazing sun beat down on me, but I pushed on up, praying for it to end.
Oh my God. This Oreo milkshake is nearly back. Oh, you gotta love it, you gotta love it. Oh, after the biggest, sweatiest climb, I can just about see the top. I am absolutely drenched.
But for every up, there's a down.
This is stunning. Absolutely stunning.
The mountains gave way briefly to the most beautiful valley I'd ever seen. This place looked like the surface of another planet, and for a moment, I forgot all my worries. The team joined me to take it all in. For a second, we could breathe.
Is that Au revoir.
I'm not very often lost for words. This country is probably, I think it might actually be the most beautiful I've ever seen. Days like this makes the pain worth it. But I've got some serious chafage right now, so the pain needs to be worth it. It's very rare that I get actually emotional just by looking around at the scenery, but that's what nature does to me. I absolutely love it. And I've nearly got a tear in my eye, literally just watching the sunset over these mountains. It's so unbelievable. This is what it's all about.
It's times like this I have to remind myself why I'm really here. The future looked uncertain and I was deeply stressed. But at the end of the day, I was here, sailing through the most beautiful place I'd ever seen, on a challenge I dreamed about my whole life. In that moment, I couldn't have felt more grateful. As the darkness fell, I veered off the road to a flattish patch of sand to set up camp.
It's Gandalf and Frodo, 100%.
You are actually such a Frodo as a person, and I really do feel like you're a Gandalf.
You're either Frodo or Sam, mate. So
Sam, I'm f***ing Sam, mate.
I think you should make a video every day where you just say, if I take one step further, this will be the furthest from home I've ever been, and it'll be true every time.
Mate, that was a good day.
This is the best day of the whole trip.
I agree.
Seen it for us.
But just before I fell asleep, I had a breakthrough.
Mitch, what just happened?
After a message from a follower and a bit of research, I managed to track down the number for what looks to be the shipping company, which at least twice a week goes from Oman to Pakistan. I'm going to be ringing them during office hours and working my arse off to try and explain our situation.
That's the first time we've ever heard of any boat going from Oman to Pakistan at all.
Yeah. Express Feed is one of the carriers that operates regular services with vessels departing 2 to 4 times a week. So I went on LinkedIn, found out all their people, and then on Facebook I managed to find a number on a different website for their head office in Singapore.
It's totally changed our understanding of whether it's possible in general, right?
But again, this is still all just going off one single website, which someone who I don't know has sent me. So who knows? We'll find out.
Back at it. What am I doing with my life? This landscape's just completely changed, and I think it's just going to get better and better until we hit the ocean. But I guess this is like a stark reminder for Mitch that you've got some mountains to come.
With mountains comes like beauty, which gives you energy, which gives you power. On we go.
Every time I thought I'd seen Oman, it pulled a new wonder out of the bag. For miles in every direction, jagged volcanic rocks pushed their way out of the sand. This was absolutely insane.
Less than 200k now until the finish point. Lying down these canyons.
But as I moved, I was constantly working on my new leads. It was only one day to go until crunch time. I made phone call after phone call, stopping every few kilometres to make headway and find solace in the local goat population.
One more. You're being greedy now. I've called this Singapore number for the cargo shipment company about 20 times now. I'm continuing to call it, and also managed to find a number for the CEO somewhere else. All we can do now is just keep hoping.
Aside from jagged mountains, baking tarmac and endless stress, Oman had one more wonder left to discover.
These bridges and canyons are just on another planet.
A wadi is basically a water-filled canyon, carved out by rainwater from the mountains to the sea. The Omani coast has hundreds. In the harsh desert climate, it's an oasis for plants to thrive, and this one is the biggest and most famous in the country.
We're at Wadi Shab, probably the biggest, deepest and most popular. It's essentially a massive gorge canyon which you can follow for hours.
As we got ready to enter the wadi, the strangest thing happened. I bumped into someone I knew.
So you both know the same person?
So Juma, yeah. So remember I told you that my friend at Shackleton, Louis, had got a fixer. I sent you Molly the fixer.
Yeah.
For Oman. This might be him. This is you.
Yeah, it's me.
No way.
What a small world.
What are the chances of that?
So where are you up to now? Where are you going?
Now we're trying desperately to find a dhow to take us to Pakistan.
I call the guy now.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's really kind.
السلام عليكم اخوان. واخوان كيف الحال كيف الصحة؟ أقول لك ابن عمي تعرف حد قارب لباكستاني يوديك من المطرح؟ Unfortunately, he said it's too difficult.
Okay.
Yeah.
He couldn't help us, but it didn't matter. It was still an insane coincidence, and added to my feeling that the boat crossing was meant to happen. And speaking of boat crossings,
Oh, look at this.
You're from British?
Yes.
Yeah.
Britain.
You?
Oman here.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful country.
That's a pleasure.
I really love it.
to Jurassic Park.
This feels like a movie set though, actually.
This is cool, isn't it? Little slice of paradise.
A slice of paradise it was indeed. This place was genuinely breathtaking. The vast canyon walls towered over us as we trekked through a genuine oasis of blue water and lush vegetation. As we moved further into the wadi, the walls tightened and our route turned from flat sand to a rocky scramble.
You enjoying yourself, Mitch?
I feel like I'm 5 again. This is another level.
Yeah, exactly.
We continued on across great boulders, cliff edges and river crossings to deep within the gorge until we finally came across the deep natural pool we'd been looking for. With the chaos beginning tomorrow, we all really needed this.
Have fun, Mitch.
Boys, what a time to be alive. What a time. What a time.
This had been a spectacular detour, but I still had kilometres to cram in, so it was back to the coalface.
Alright guys, we are 140k into the day. Camp destination tonight, the final destination is what says Hidden Beach. And then in the morning, only 30k to get to the most eastern point of basically this entire subcontinent.
I hugged the coast heading towards this mysterious beach as the sun set over the mountains. We had the place to ourselves for a few hours, but it wasn't long before we noticed a fire roaring to life across the beach. Voices called us over. It was some local Omani men inviting us for tea.
That's really fine.
No, okay. No problem. What's that? No problem.
Arabic coffee or tea?
No.
Chai.
Karak.
Kara.
Tea.
You will learn Arabic.
Arabic in Jordan and Gaza.
What are you doing in Gaza?
I was working to try to help the people. This is your secret spot.
You come, so you come here just to relax.
Sometime we make barbecue. But today it's windy. You're most welcome. You can come directly.
Thank you so much.
What can you tell us about Oman?
First thing also because you are English, we have good relationship with you, okay?
Oman people is humble people.
Humble.
I cannot
Hospitality.
Yes.
hospitality.
Hospitality.
Why is this?
This is our traditional.
Our culture,
Even before
our
Islam,
religion.
we have seen. I mean, we didn't change it because it's kind of things, you know. We feel when we meet people, we like to say, welcome, come to share food. We need something, we like to help.
Yeah, it's been for me my favourite country. The mountains, the beaches, the people, everything.
It's very safe. Nobody wants anything from you. But Omani have good hospitality.
This felt special. I felt a deep sense of peace and belonging sat with these kind human beings, on the beach, sipping tea and sharing stories. This leg had been strange. On one hand, Oman had brought the biggest stresses and problems so far, but it had also been the most beautiful, filled with wonder and kindness. Either way, the end was coming, and there's nothing I could do to stop it.
Right then, Mitch. This is it.
This is it. Let's get going to the most easterly point of the entire Arabian Peninsula. This is as far as you can physically go on this entire section of planet Earth, and then back to Muscat. Work our ass off to try and get on the dhow or boat and carry on from Pakistan. Off we go.
I raced to the end, speeding across the final 30 kilometres. This felt like a huge milestone to me. It was the end of the detour we'd taken around Iran, the end of a subcontinent, and most significantly, the end of any sort of certainty. The ground was literally about to be pulled from beneath my feet.
In a very good mood. Beautiful roads, surrounded by mountains, sighted, everything. Loving life.
And of course, the final kilometre was at the top of a cliff.
Me, I was nearly knee gone.
You okay?
Of course there's no roads to the finish point, who cares? Because we've only got about 500 metres left to the furthest point we can physically go, mate.
The moment had finally come. All my preparation, fear and uncertainty had led to this point. As I reached the end, I was filled with excitement, pride and fear. I'd run out of road and run out of time.
Oh man. Yes. What a feeling. Come on! Unbelievable. Nearly 80,000 kilometres from Calais. The diversion that we had to take because of Iran is now officially complete. Arabia, the desert, everyone we've met has made every second worth it. It's frustrating that I can't carry the hell on to Pakistan, but right now, being stood on this point, it's just amazing. Every day you see something that makes it all worth it. It's incredible how a few months boils down into one moment. Here we are, nearly 8,000 K, we've had -10, we've been chased by dogs, knocked over by taxis, ran off the road by trucks, military lockdowns, checkpoints, crashes, and here we are, after all this, stood on the edge of a cliff, on the edge of a subcontinent. It's a lot to process, but it's crazy how far we've come. Now we just need to go across that little gulf and carry on. We've still got 3,000 K left to go on the bike, and then 32 marathons, and then climb Everest. We'll be fine.
Tomorrow begins the chaos, but I'm sure it will be fine. All I have to do is go to the port and find someone willing to take me, 2 crew and 2 bikes across 400 kilometres of open ocean to Pakistan. What could possibly go wrong?
This is bad.